A delivery truck doesn't show up. At first, no one notices. The store still opens. The shelves still look mostly full. Maybe 1 or 2 items are missing, but it feels normal enough. A small inconvenience. People adjust. They choose something else. They move on. By the second day, a few gaps appear. Not everywhere, just certain sections. Cooking oil is low. Rice is pushed to the back. A few brands are gone. Prices tick slightly upward, but nothing dramatic. Most people still assume it's temporary. By the third day, behavior changes. Shoppers start buying a little more than usual. Not panic, just extra. A second bag, a backup, something to be safe. Then week 3 arrives. Now the shelves don't look the same. The gaps are obvious. The cheaper staples are gone first. The reliable items disappear next. What remains is expensive, unfamiliar, or impractical. Prices are no longer subtle, and restocking doesn't bring things back to normal. It just delays the next shortage. This pattern is not new. It has happened before. Different causes, same result. Transport disruption, fuel issues, weather damage, demand spikes. The trigger changes, but the behavior doesn't. And there's a detail most people miss. Shortages don't begin when shelves are empty. They begin when restocking slows down. The households that recognize this early behave differently. They don't rush. They don't guess. They prepare with a system. The households that stay calm plan differently. Most households prepare for comfort, not duration. And that difference only becomes visible when supply stops behaving the way people expect, because the mistake isn't waiting too long. The mistake is not understanding what actually matters when things stretch beyond a few days. Most people believe preparation is about quantity, more food, bigger storage, full shelves at home. But when pressure builds, quantity alone doesn't solve the problem. Timing does, and selection does. If someone starts buying after the shelves begin to thin, they are already competing with everyone else. Prices are higher, options are limited, decisions are rushed. And what they end up with is often inconsistent. Too much of one thing, not enough of another. Food that requires resources they don't have. Water, fuel, time. Prepared households move earlier, but more importantly, they move smarter. They don't just ask how much food they have. They ask how long that food will actually sustain them. They think in days and weeks, not just meals. They think about what happens when cooking becomes harder, when resupply is uncertain, when conditions are no longer ideal. Because once a disruption extends past the first few days, everything changes. Fresh food becomes unreliable. Supply chains prioritize different products. Prices shift unevenly. And the foods that last the longest are the ones that disappear the fastest. There is a pattern to this. Shelf-stable items go first. Always. The foods that can sit without refrigeration, that don't spoil quickly, that can be stored easily. Those are the first to vanish. Then fresh supply becomes inconsistent. Produce quality drops, meat availability fluctuates, deliveries become unpredictable. And before shelves are fully empty, prices begin to rise. That's the signal. Not empty shelves, slower restocking. That is where prepared households make their move. Because disruptions are visible in restocking delays, not empty shelves. Once you understand that, preparation becomes less about reacting and more about positioning. But positioning only works if you know what to choose. Not all food is equal when time stretches. Some foods look useful, but fail under pressure. Others seem simple, but quietly carry the entire system. So before anything is purchased, there needs to be a filter, a way to decide what belongs in a long-duration plan and what does not. Smart households use a simple framework. First, shelf life. Not just how long something lasts unopened, but how stable it remains over time. Can it sit for months without degrading? Or does it quietly lose value? Second, cost per calorie. Not just price per item, but how much energy it provides for that cost. Because when supply tightens, efficiency matters more than variety. Third, preparation requirements. Does it need long cooking time, large amounts of water, continuous heat? Because in a real disruption, fuel and water may not be unlimited. Fourth, storage stability. Heat, humidity, and pests are not minor issues. In warmer climates especially, poor storage can destroy food faster than consumption. And finally, nutritional balance. Calories alone are not enough. The body needs protein, fats, and micronutrients to function over time. Without balance, energy drops, decision-making weakens, and small problems become larger ones. When food passes through this framework, the list becomes very clear. Not popular foods, not trendy items, practical ones. Based on that framework, there are 10 foods that consistently hold their value when supply tightens. 10 that perform across time, cost, storage, and nutrition. 10 that smart households rely on. Not because they are perfect, but because they continue working when other options fail. The first is rice. Rice is one of the most efficient calorie sources available. It stores well when kept dry. It scales easily. A small amount feeds multiple people, and it forms the base of countless meals. When everything else becomes uncertain, rice provides stability. The second is dry beans, or lentils. They bring protein into the system, something rice alone cannot provide. They last for long periods when stored properly, and while they require cooking, their nutritional return justifies the effort. They turn basic calories into sustained energy. The third is pasta. Pasta is often overlooked, but it combines storage stability with ease of use. It cooks faster than many staples. It pairs with almost anything, and it provides quick, reliable energy without complex preparation. The fourth is oats. Oats solve a different problem. They require minimal cooking. They can even be prepared with just water over time. They are versatile. Breakfast, simple meals, or filler when options are limited. And they digest easily, which matters when stress is high. Together, these four form the foundation. They are not exciting, but they are reliable. They provide the bulk of calories at the lowest cost, and they stretch further than most people expect. Then the system needs balance. The fifth is canned vegetables. These provide micronutrients that dry foods lack. They store well. They are ready to eat. And they prevent the slow decline that comes from nutrient gaps. The sixth is canned protein. This includes tuna, chicken, or even beans in ready form. It removes the need for long cooking. It provides immediate protein, and it allows meals to remain functional even when fuel is limited. The seventh is peanut butter. This is where calorie density changes the equation. Peanut butter delivers fats, protein, and energy in a compact form. It requires no preparation. It stores well, and it supports both physical energy and mental comfort, because familiarity matters. In extended disruptions, people don't just need food, they need stability. Familiar taste reduces stress. It makes routines easier to maintain, and it prevents decision fatigue. Then there are the items most people underestimate. The eighth is powdered milk. Milk fills nutritional gaps that other foods leave behind. Calcium, protein, and additional calories. It extends what simple meals can provide, and when fresh options disappear, it becomes more valuable over time. The ninth is cooking oil. Oil is pure energy, high calorie, small volume. It transforms simple food into complete meals. It allows calories to scale upward when needed, and it becomes critical as physical demand increases. The 10th is salt. Salt is not just flavor, it is function. It supports the body. It preserves food. It stabilizes meals. And in extended situations, it becomes a quiet necessity. These 10 foods are not chosen randomly. They work together. They cover calories, protein, fats, and micronutrients. They store efficiently. They adapt to different conditions. And most importantly, they continue working as time extends beyond the first few days. Because that is where most plans fail. Not in the beginning, but in the middle. After the first week, routines change. Energy drops if nutrition is poor. Cooking becomes harder if fuel is limited. And mistakes made early begin to show. This is where cost per calorie becomes critical. Foods that seem cheap initially may not provide enough energy. Others may require too much preparation, and some may spoil faster than expected. Efficiency wins over variety. At the same time, fuel efficiency matters. Long cooking times increase resource use. Foods that can be prepared quickly or eaten directly reduce pressure. They extend the system without requiring more input. Then comes storage. Heat breaks down food faster than people expect. Humidity causes spoilage. Poor packaging invites pests. In warmer regions, this is not a small detail. It is a primary risk. Food is not just what you buy. It is how you keep it. Rotation also matters. Using and replacing stored food prevents waste. It keeps the system fresh, and it ensures that what you rely on is always usable. Most failures come from ignoring this, buying without a plan, storing without awareness, preparing without considering fuel or water. Discipline matters more than volume, because once disruption moves into multiple weeks, the difference becomes clear. Prepared households don't just have food, they have usable food, balanced food, food that supports consistent energy and clear thinking. And that creates an advantage. Energy remains stable, decisions improve, stress is controlled. While others are reacting, they are maintaining. Preparation is not panic, it is positioning. It is the quiet decision to remove uncertainty before it arrives. And it doesn't require extreme actions, just structured ones. At this point, it becomes a simple question. Which of these foods are already part of your home setup? Because preparation is not something that happens all at once. It builds gradually, one decision at a time, one adjustment at a time. And when disruption comes, the difference is not dramatic. It is quiet. The calm household is the prepared household. Preparation removes uncertainty.